how much for mug, but I cut off because we that came up just as I ended the broadcast. So I don't know if you're still doing that, but she might be hopping back on. Should we go back on?
Yeah. Oh, I just thought you were on, so I just clicked on. I thought you were
Oh,
already on.
no, I'm not on. I wasn't on.
I am. I thought you had clicked on, and I didn't know it, so I just
I'm
clicked
back
on.
on. I'm back on
I have no
too.
viewers, so
I
not
have
yet
no
anyway.
viewers either. John Gilmore is live. Oh, it's telling me you're live.
I am live.
So hungry.
Part two is
Going to
live now.
make
Okay,
some
so we're live
vegan
now.
parmesan
The good
cheese
thing
tonight.
is we can talk about food and we get to eat today. I'm so excited about that.
I know it's really good. So I'm going to make some parmesan cheese to shake over my vegetable shepherd's pie thing that I made, which Wink and I are having tonight. And that is made with a cup of cashew nuts, which you don't soak so that they're crunchy. You put some nutritional yeast and some garlic salt in it, and you whiz it all up so it's all granular, and it's really, really tasty. So I'm going to make that. Looking forward to that. I don't think I'll be able to do a video though, because I just need to eat something today. Hi Mary Beth, hi Kira, hi Laura, hi Alina. They're back on. There's 8 on. Say hi, let us know you're back on. Any questions, please put them in capitals, because I know y'all love to chat with each other, which is absolutely great, but it's a nightmare finding the questions for me, because we do want to answer any questions that you have. Anything that you'd like. Hey Chris, how you doing? Chris says hi to you as well. Are you finished in the shed, darling?
I think I'm going to stop there for finishing dinner.
Well, I've just been up to ask Finian about dinner, and Finian's not well today. He's been off school.
Oh,
He came running in this morning in a state of like hyperventilation, and kind of got into bed and was like, oh, because everything is very, very serious basically for him with his sense. He said he wanted to leave it a bit. So I don't know what we're going to do for him when he feels like it. But with his sensory processing disorder, any kind of bodily sensation he has is very, very acute and quite alarming for him. So he slept most of the day, but he's up now, but not firing off all cylinders, I would say, but nothing particularly bad either. Yay, Debs is back on. Hi, Debs. Hi, Judy. Hi, Ms. Al. Hi, Deborah. Deborah Barlow's back on. Too much partying. Hi, Wink. Too much partying. He's been in his shed all day building stuff while I've been at my new job. Yep, we're all back on. Any questions for us? What would you like to talk about? What would you like to talk about? We've talked about quite a variety of subjects tonight already. Oh, I've got my thumbs down. Thanks for the thumbs down. We have a resident thumbs downer, which is
I haven't gotten one yet today. I'm a little disappointed, but I know it's coming.
I've just got the one thumbs down.
Somebody will do mine. It was probably that person that wanted to tell you that you were going to get colon cancer from eating healthy.
Yes, that one. Yeah, his self-portrait was cheese with veins running through it. It's just like, mind you, he managed to troll on for quite a long time without us realising. So, woohoo! It's usually worse for those kids with SP. Yes, it is when they're not well. When you have sensory processing disorder, it's the sensory system is. Yay! Someone's giving me a thumbs up. Yes, excellent. Yeah, the sensory system is. Oh, no, they're all doing thumbs up now. You guys, I just love you.
They're wonderful.
Oh no, Josh gave us the thumbs up. It wasn't Josh. Apologies, Josh. He has sensory processing disorder, which means that all his senses, hearing, sight, touch, all the 5 senses are very, very heightened, and the brain processes them in the foreground. So particularly why kids on the spectrum who have a sensory processing disorder as one of the spectrum disorders, why you can't get their attention when they're little is because they're blocking it out because it's too much for them. so they don't notice. And also, you have to break through what adults who have sensory processing disorder will describe as like white noise. You have to break through their sensory system to actually talk to them, because noise and sight and movement and sound and feeling, and they're wiggling their legs about because they can't feel their legs unless they're moving, unless they're banging things. You'd have heavy pressure garments on and lap weights and shoulder weights, and he carries a bag that's so heavy I can hardly lift it, because it makes him feel grounded. So in order to have a conversation, and they get much better at that as they get older, you need to break through the sensory processing system to get at the person, so that they can't even access the education, because they cannot break through this. It's like this is going on. So when a kid is at school, or anyone with sensory processing disorder is going through life, it's very, very much more exhausting for them than people that don't have that processing disorder, because they're not having to break through that constantly. Like if Finian was thirsty when he was little, he would go, "No, I'm thirsty," and he would just like the world had come to an end, and I'd be like, "All right, just give me a minute." So I never go anywhere without water. And they learn to manage it as they get older, and plan for it, and also just realize that some extraordinary awful thirst thing isn't happening to them. That's just them having a much more pointed reaction to the sensory feeling of being thirsty. So that's kind of how it was for Finian, and how it still is. But he's not poor Finian at all. He's absolutely fine. He's absolutely fine. But when he was little, it was challenging for him, and I think that's why he won the award, the Special Needs Award, at the end of, we call it the fifth year, where you do your exams when you're kind of 16, because he had overcome so much in the 5 years he was at that school that the teaching staff just were so proud of him. They gave him an award. So he's absolutely fine. There's no poor Finian, apart from the fact that he's not feeling 100% today. But I hope that helps to explain what sensory processing disorder is and what it's like for those who have it. Yeah, often they don't like being touched, because I cannot. He won't let you touch his face, because unless it's hard pressure, it tickles. So all the labels have to be cut out of garments. He will only wear certain clothes. He has one outfit that he wears. He has about 10 of these tops. They're all identical. They don't have any labels on them, don't have any pockets on them. He's like Steve Jobs. He's got one outfit. He knows exactly what he's going to wear. If it's not his school uniform or his pajamas, which he will spend most of his time in. And it's because, like jeans irritate him, so everything has to be a certain fabric, so it feels nice to him. So he's not kind of like irritated by a label and constantly focused on that all the time. So, and because of his acute, highly processed processing disorder, tastes and textures are really heightened for him. So if you overcook something slightly, he won't eat it because it's overcooked. If it's undercooked, he won't eat it. If it's got artificial ingredients and flavors in it, he won't eat it. He cannot stand the taste of it. So, how I know that some of the supplements that I give him help him to focus at school, because he is like the most acute human being to go, yes, that made a difference, that didn't make a difference. So it's been quite interesting, the journey with it. So I hope that answers lots of questions.
Just as I received that email regarding the vaccines, and there is nothing here at all in any of these links that suggests that there is a causation from vaccines and autism. There's nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
There's some information that shows that you can get some local reactions, or that you may get an inflammatory response or things like that, but we know all that. We know that when you get a shot, it hurts. We know it gets inflamed, turns red, gets hot sometimes, that you mount an immune response. We know all of that. That's not a reason not to take a vaccine, though. We're trying to prevent death from a terrible disease. So be careful where you get your information from, folks. That's all.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah. So can he basically test your food to see if it's truly vegan?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know how I would do that. You could probably send it off to a research laboratory somewhere and say, test this for animal proteins of some kind. And they probably have some way to find out.
She's saying I should use Finian because he's got such heightened taste. Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. Oh dear, we've got a troll on here. No,
poor thing, you're getting lots of those.
I got one. Yummy. Oh right, we've got another one now. Yeah. The benefits outweigh the negatives on vaccines, absolutely.
Of course they
do. Hang
on.
I've got a troll here. Let me get on because I don't know how to get it off when I'm on my thing. Right, okay. I'm going to hand it over to you while I press buttons because you know how rubbish I am at pressing buttons. Like, I keep pressing the wrong buttons over and over again. What is going on here? Right, sorry, folks. We want to get these comments off here because they're a pain in the bottom. Right. Cancel, go away. Right, I don't know what's going on with my phone, but I can't get on to get rid of it.
So for lunch, I had pho. I had vegan pho from a Saigon Vietnamese restaurant. I think that's what they call themselves. And it was rice noodles, and it had veggies in it. It had some broccoli. It had some carrot, really thin sliced carrot. And this container of broth that is vegetable based that you had to reheat, and then you pour over all of that. I like to use this new service called Uber Eats, and there's no way they're making any money on this because I had this delivered. The food and the delivery and everything was about $8. So they can't make any money. So this is a loss leader for them to introduce the service. So right now I'm enjoying them losing money feeding me. I hope that they figure out a way to do it where it could be inexpensive like that and have some kind of way to maintain that. But we know you can't drive a car two ways. 10 miles and have a person do it and get the food hot and get it there safely and all that and do that for $8. Not here. That's not possible. That doesn't cover the costs. So somehow they've got to be supplementing the drivers or something to do this. So, but it was delicious and it was nutritious and it was vegan and I could not finish it because there was so much broth. My little tummy couldn't handle all of that yummy goodness. Just couldn't do it. And I did not have any breakfast because I was in a blazing hurry from being late this morning. Slept in, hit the snooze and decided not to get up. I don't know. I don't know why. I just didn't.
Well, maybe you needed the sleep.
Maybe.
I've got trolls on here at the moment. They're being a right pain.
Maybe I needed the sleep after all the being up late for the weekend and then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day stuff we did, and it was fun. So
I have got a question from Luann. Do I have a web page to show us how to cook vegetables or tofu? I'm doing quite a few vegetables. While I'm cooking, I'm doing lots of vegetables, funnily enough. I'm doing quite a few recipes. Go and have a look at some of the recipes I've put up. Tofu, I've got one recipe that I cooked with tofu, which was it's the only time I've ever enjoyed tofu. And I'm also going to do a recipe for making a chickpea version of tofu for those of you who don't like soya or want to avoid it. Goodness me, I literally am plagued with we've got a load of trolls come on all at once. Maybe they're in a little pack. Maybe they're all in the same room.
A pack of trolls.
A pack of trolls. I know, Keir, it's a nightmare, isn't it?
So I've got one here from Mary Ranch. She has a question. She says she has gout and she takes tart cherry pills, and we know that that can help with gout. What other stuff can I also take that is good without taking medicine? So what you're asking for is a nutraceutical instead of a pharmaceutical. And the truth is that anything like a citrusy or tart or sour citrus product can be helpful. But the biggest way to treat gout is to not eat the foods that cause gout. And gout is caused by certain kinds of meats that have a high purine protein content. Sweetbread comes to mind. That's a kind of meat. Beer also falls into that. So I get patients in with gout that get gout flare-ups after they've had a bunch of beer over, had some friends over and drank a lot of beer and had steak. So you cut your meat intake and your animal protein intake down, and the gout spontaneously improves, and you don't have to treat it if you don't get it. And the way you get it is by what you're eating in the first place. So we recommend a whole food plant-based diet, and we don't see gout as a problem there.
Right. Deborah's asking about a diet for gout.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can go right online and just plug in the words, what not to eat if I have gout, and you'll get hundreds of articles. They all say the same thing because most of them are just copies of the original article that somebody did. But they're good articles. They're not bad.
Kira says hi. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. I'm going to be using tofu, I think, a lot more because I actually like the texture of it. And sometimes I want something that has a different texture from vegetables in what I'm eating. I think, food is, so much about texture as well as taste. And what it looks like. So I'm going to be doing some more of that, and I'm definitely going to be doing some more cheeses, because I know a lot of people enjoy that. I really enjoy it on my food as well. So, I'm going to be doing some more of those for you, for sure. I love, it was the firm tofu that I had, and I really, really liked it. And it went all crispy. I kind of sauteed it in, they've all gone now, darling, thank you. Wink's trying to look for the trolls, bless him. I sauteed it in toasted sesame seed oil, and it was absolutely lovely. It had a really oriental kind of flavour to it. It was really, really lovely. Lynn is going to try tofu, absolutely. There's a lot of, there's a tribe, isn't there, that you've mentioned, that eats tofu almost all the time. Didn't you say that? And they have kind of no heart disease.
Oh no, there are people that in Okinawa, for example, and in other parts of the country that eat, other parts of the world that eat a lot of soybean, which is tofu. I mean that basically is just processed soybean, right? And they don't have any of all of these concerns that people have about hormone changes and things like that. That just doesn't exist. So this is a figment of somebody's imagination or a calculated misinformation campaign by the meat and dairy and poultry and whatever else milk producers. I mean, it's just not true. I eat a lot of soy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've started using it a lot more, and I've kind of got over I can't have that vegan cheese because it's made of soya, and soya is like the enemy. I've kind of got over that now because I have some more relevant information, which is really good. I've got the lovely DW on here, and she's talking about tofu recipes, and Deborah is talking about chocolate tofu pie. Holy moly, that sounds fantastic. Recipe, please do message me a recipe, and I'll cook it up on my channel so I can share it with everyone. That sounds fantastic. As you know, I have received rather a lot of vegan chocolate from the lovely Elena in our package. Did you see that giant box we got? Jack?
No, I didn't. I've been. Did you get it today or yesterday?
No, we got it. It arrived on New Year's Eve, and we opened it live. It took us a whole hour to open everything. It was like a second Christmas. It was amazing, and in it, like loads of vegan goodies. So, because chocolate is my Achilles heel, and I haven't been doing so many protein shakes recently. I don't really know why. I haven't. Maybe because I want something warm a lot more. I don't know. No idea why. I've just been kind of doing other things, just moving around with my cooking and the things that I'm eating. Right, Leanne is saying she hasn't had any swelling in her legs for almost a year. Yesterday I made shrimp fettuccine and my feet puffed up so bad I haven't had shrimp in months. There you go, Leanne, sweetheart. There you go. There's the answer. There is the answer. Inflammatory animal products. I'm not worrying about soy as much because you can get GMO free. Yeah, and I would always look for that because the highly GMO'd and processed stuff, I just, we don't want to eat loads of processed stuff. We want to eat like whole foods, as much as we can, although tofu isn't really a whole food. If it's responsibly sourced and made and not messed about with too much, it's definitely better. Ms. Owl is saying, in China, I believe the women did not know anything like menopause due to eating healthy veg and tofu meals. Yeah, you see, I think menopause, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Jack, but I think menopause is the symptoms of menopause are so exaggerated if you're not eating a healthy diet.
Oh, I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah. You can literally kick those symptoms to touch with a healthy diet, eating the right foods, letting your body make its adjustments, it's so much, and just having a healthy gut. That I'm a big probiotic fan. Having a healthy gut, just makes you so much more happier. It lets you sleep better. And then you're putting good food in that healthy gut. The healthy gut is extracting everything that the body needs and the things it doesn't need. It's going to, it's going to take what it needs when you're working like a well-oiled machine, absolutely.
I have some information more about the gout, and I actually wanted to, check my facts because when I say something, I want to be sure it's right. And I said that we don't have a problem with gout with whole food plant-based eating, and I can't ever remember having a patient come in where they went on a vegan spree and ended up with a gout attack. It had never happened. But I said that, and then I realized I'm not sure that there aren't high levels of purines, which again are kinds of proteins in vegetables. So I just did a little research on. The Mayo Clinic has a really interesting article, but if you have gout and you want to avoid gout attacks, you should avoid liver, kidney, and sweetbreads, which I believe sweetbreads is pancreas, right? Am I right on that? Okay, so liver, kidney, and sweetbreads, which have high purine.
Testicles, I think.
No, I don't think those are testicles.
Brain.
No, sweetbreads are pig's testicles.
Sweetbreads are pig's testicles.
Okay, okay. Well, then don't eat those.
Let's not get on to the potato chip and the crisp and the French fry.
What are sweetbreads? Sweetbreads are considered offal.
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 Yeah, offal. Offal is the name we give to all internal organs.
Okay.
So heart, tripe.
Here it is. Sweetbreads are an organ meat from the thymus and gland and the pancreas.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, this is from the pancreas. So most sweetbread, I think, is pancreas.
Okay.
All right. So
sorry, my bad.
We've
always thought that it was pig's testicles.
That's okay.
Actually, that. Yeah. Anyway, right. Moving on. Sorry.
All right, so stay away from organ meats. So if you have gout, you should stay away from organ meat and red meat. and lamb and pork. So really, you stay away from meat and seafood, especially shellfish and tuna seem to have a lot of it. And then it says high purine vegetables, but this is what it says with high purine vegetables. Studies have
What's my purine
well,
vegetable?
certain vegetables have a lot of a kind of protein called a purine that is
Okay.
implicated in causing gout.
Okay.
Asparagus and spinach have, according to this article, have high levels of purines, but then it goes on to say, but for some reason, studies have shown that vegetables high in purines, such as asparagus and spinach, don't increase the risk of gout or recurring gout attacks. So even though the vegetables have the purines, doesn't lead to a gout problem. That's just another example of the protein coming from a plant is good for you, whereas the protein coming from the animals causing a problem. It also goes on to say alcohol, beer, and distilled liquors associated with increased risk for gout. And then the stuff that you would expect, sugary foods and beverages. And then, of course, coffee may reduce your risk of gout, and cherries. Some evidence shows that eating cherries reduces your risk of gout attacks too. So I don't need to change my position or anything that we said earlier about gout and vegetables. I think that you're safe if you eat a whole food plant-based diet. You eliminate a whole host of diseases or conditions or concerns from your body. Gout apparently is one of them.
Right. I've got a couple. Thank you for that. I've got a couple of questions. Um, Josh is saying, how much does simple carbohydrates play into inflammatory diseases and metabolic syndromes?
Simple carbohydrates. I think that if you talk about obesity, if you're talking about simple carbohydrates, and by that you mean sugar, the answer is dependent on the amount. It can contribute considerably because the body can only handle so much fructose. When you talk about glucose being or table sugar being sucrose and fructose, I believe that's right. Glucose and fructose is sucrose. And so when you start breaking, your body starts breaking down those sugars, your body immediately starts shuttling the fructose over into fat production. So when you say how much, the answer is if you overeat and you're significantly overeating anything, you're going to get sick. If you significantly overeat starches, you're going to get sick. But your body is designed to handle starches in the form of carbohydrates that are naturally found in nature, such as fruits and vegetables. And you can make yourself sick by drinking too much water. I mean, anything can be bad for you if you do it to the extreme. So I watched some videos that talked about this. A tribe in Aboriginal tribe in Australia that the community was run by a group of leaders, and they had one large supermarket that basically most everybody came in and did their shopping, and they started seeing their children getting fatter and fatter, and starting to see diabetes in these children, and the council voted to eliminate the soft drinks. They got all the soft drinks out of the store, and then the children started getting thinner and the diabetes went away. So you can cause diabetes by significantly overeating carbohydrates, but these peoples are, as indigenous peoples, are not, for whatever reason, this particular group, I do not believe, were significant plant eaters. I think they were mainly meat eaters. So they had a propensity to develop diabetes because of their animal product intake. And so when you introduced simple sugars in high amounts, they demonstrated the diabetes. So the diabetes became manifest then. if they had been on a whole food plant-based diet, they probably could have handled the glucose a lot better. But I don't know because they don't have all the information on everything else they ate.
Okie dokes, thank you. I've got Chris is asking, how do you treat leg nerve pain without taking gabapentin? Even wearing jeans makes my legs feel like they're on fire. I live in pajama pants when I'm at home.
You don't.
You can't treat it.
There is no treatment for neuropathy besides gabapentin or pregabalin or the tricyclic antidepressants. They're all medications. Are we looking for a natural treatment? Is that what we're looking for? I presume if you're here and you're asking, we presume you're talking about natural products.
Let me know what exactly what you were asking there, Chris.
I can speak to it from the medical standpoint that when it comes to treating neuropathy, probably our number one drug is pregabalin, which is Lyrica. Number 2 would be Neurontin, which is gabapentin. Number 3 would be one of the tricyclic antidepressants, such as amitriptyline or Elavil or nortriptyline. Elavil probably preferred. Then we would go into some of the other antidepressants. All of these, such as Prozac, Paxil, Zoloft, citalopram, which is Celexa, Lexapro, which is escitalopram, and Wellbutrin and others. I would say that any of those medications could have a neuromodulator function, and as a result could influence the way nerves transmit signals to the brain regarding pain. And so you'll see pain management physicians will often dabble in a concoction of antidepressants and neuromodulators to help chronic pain sufferers. If you're talking about natural things to do, I would ask you why you have the neuropathy in the first place. If you will adopt a whole food plant-based diet, you should see an improvement in your neuropathy. If you will, number one, take a baby, again, check with your doctor on baby aspirin every day, but for most people that are over 40, you should be on a baby aspirin every day anyway. A calcium once a day or 2 a day calcium supplements if you are a woman. Vitamin D supplementation is necessary for most people in Western cultures because we don't get enough sunshine and we don't get enough pre-vitamin D product in our food. And then there's an entire list of 7 very important ingredients that help regulate how the body handles glucose and energy at the cellular level. I put them all together in one product called Meta 7. If you don't want to take them all, go to my website, take a picture of the ingredient list, and pick a few out and go buy them and add them into your diet. But those can be helpful in slowing the progress of neuropathy in diabetics. Now, that's actually research. That actually is medical research. I can't tell you that Meta 7 has been authorized by the FDA to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any disease. That would be illegal. But I can tell you many of the individual ingredients that we put in have been proven to slow the progression of neuropathy in diabetics. So, there's a lot of, when you talk about neuropathy, you really need to know what caused the neuropathy. Is it diabetic neuropathy or not? Are we talking about an idiopathic neuropathy, or was there a heavy metal exposure? The bad thing about neuropathy is that most of the time neuropathy is not curable. Is this baby Jack?
This is baby Jack.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, right here. Right here. Hey, it's my buddy.
He's
hey,
hungry.
buddy. Hey, buddy. Hi. He said hi. Did you hear him? He said hi, Pawpaw. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Shoes. Yeah, y'all do have matching shoes.
We have the same shoes on.
Oh. Jeez, oh my goodness me. I suppose yes, she's already.
How you doing? You're getting big. Yeah, you're getting big. Is he scratching himself? Is that why you have the gloves on?
Yes.
You have gloves on, so you're scratching yourself, huh?
He's already scratched under his eye and the top of his eyelid.
You do?
Both eyes, yeah.
Yeah. He just told me he wanted to watch some John Wayne movies with me. Yeah. What's that?
Excellent.
More spaghetti westerns. He likes spaghetti westerns.
We love a bit of John Wayne.
About to scream.
He's about to scream at me. Yes, he is. Oh, God, boy. All right. It's a good-looking baby right there.
He doesn't eat till 4:30, but
4:30?
yeah.
Okay.
If he gets
Are we
really,
babysitting?
I am. While I'm here.
No.
You're not babysitting. She is.
I know, but that I can't talk to her.
Try.
I'll be like, Mom, what are you feeding me? And then baby cries, so then I won't be fed.
Yeah.
It's terrible, isn't it?
It is.
Abby.
It is terrible.
She's 14. She's old enough to feed herself.
Maybe if someone
I knew
goes
we had a
grocery
burp in there.
shopping.
Such a
We
good
have no
cook
avocado
as well.
left.
Did you eat all the avocados?
Probably.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I can't
did you fail to purchase more avocados when you were out?
I bought them those 2 for Abby.
Well, if there's an avocado in the house and I can eat, I'm going to get one.
Well, they're mine.
They're mine. Matt, you're fighting over avocados over there, are you?
Yeah.
I hope
Avocado.
I'm the one that had this year.
About to lose a shoe.
Got it. We got it.
Fix it.
We're on it.
Who's-
There it goes.
We're on it.
It's actually a little
Yeah,
chilly here
does live
today.
right at home.
Here, help me, honey.
No.
Yeah. So the Gons has arrived. So I'm going to need to wrap it up today. Fun talk, lots of fun, and we have paperwork to get done to satisfy a demanding accountant. So first thing here, I want that stuff now. So we're going to start working on that right now.
Yeah, well, I guess it's 10 to 10 here, and I haven't eaten anything today yet, and I wasn't intending to fast today, so I'm going to also go as well. But thank you very, very much for all your questions and your queries, for getting rid of our trolls, for your comments, and it was really good fun tonight, as always. I'm going to see if I can line up a guest for Sunday.
That would be fun.
So I'm going to get on to my guests and see how I can get hold of them. So that'll be brilliant. So thank you all so much for joining us and for staying with us and for coming back on. We're getting really good at getting everyone hopped back on after we have a break, which is really, really good.
Yes.
So, oh gosh, I thought I was going to drop on the floor then. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was great. It was great to talk. Thanks for all the new guys and all the new people that are on here tonight. It's been fantastic. So we'd better let babysitting Jack.
I think Baby Gonzo has already made it back over to the big house, and so we're here in the Wink and Sue suite here at Chateau Bow Wow, right? And so I actually have to unwrap. We did get another shipment in of Meta 7, which we were running low on, so we've handled that problem and have to order another big order of the 90s here because we're about to run low on those again. So, all right.
Excellent.
So the
Well, I'm
guys
going
and I
to
are
see
getting
if
to
I
work.
can find where my Meta 7 actually is.
Where
now
is
that
your
I'm
Meta 7?
Well, I'm going to go and see if I can find it from the sorting office tomorrow morning because they couldn't. They knew it was here. I've paid the duty on it, so it should be somewhere, but it isn't anywhere at the moment. So I'm going to go and find that tomorrow, and I'll keep you posted.
All right.
All right then. Lots of love, my lovelies. Mwah. Love you all. Have fabulous evenings and afternoons wherever you're coming in from, and we will see you on Sunday again for more plant-based excitement.
Plant-based excitement. That's
Plant-based
right.
excitement. Woo woo!
Right up there, better than watching paint dry is watching plants grow. Absolutely.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Excellent. Lots of love, everyone. Bye.